What is up, you guys? That Nerd Isaac 2006 here, and in today's video, I'm bringing you guys part 3 of my Constructicons Christmas special. In today's video, we're going to be taking a quick look at Transformers Studio Series Voyager Class Long Haul and Transformers Studio Series Voyager Class Rampage, who's very loose. So, let's get into it. Focus the camera, too. Starting off with Long Haul here, I think that this is an absolutely splendid figure. I think he's so much fun. He's so chunky, he's so dense, he's so short. He's kind of a short king, not gonna lie, but he makes up for it with just his sheer amount of bulk. This is a knockoff, by the way. I have reviewed this figure, so I'm not going to go too into detail about every single aspect of him. If you guys want to see more, just check out that video. I'll link it in the description. I think that this guy is just so nice. He's such a fun time, and he's definitely one of my favorite of the bunch, honestly. This guy does make me want to get that old 2009 Voyager and compare the two and see how they stack up against one another, because that guy seems to have a little bit better articulation, but this guy, he looks so much better. He's so much more screen accurate. He's so much more dense. I think that this guy just nails what that figure couldn't, and that might be an unpopular opinion. Actually, I might get payload. That would be a good idea. Also, an added bonus about this guy being a knockoff, I know, surprising, right? Is that this guy has metal feet, meaning that he can support his weight even better than he might normally be able to if this was just a regular figure. But no, he's got some metal in him. Ain't that nice? Yeah, it's very nice. One thing I'd like to see is this mold being repurposed into other characters, such as, what was his name? Garbage Truck Bot from Dark of the Moon. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Onslaught, of course. Canopy, maybe a payload repaint. There's so many opportunities that you can take with this mold. Getting down into Long Haul's articulation, this guy is actually, like, he doesn't look like it, but he does have quite a good bit of posability on him. So, he does have a ball joint at the head. He can do a whole bunch of wiggly-waggly motion. He can look up that far, down that far, due to an extra hinge in there, I believe. It can shift back and forth as well, not a whole lot of side to side, and it cannot do a full 360, but he can. Actually, wait, he can do a full 360, oh my god. I'm just now realizing that. Shoulders are on universal hinges, so they can go, oh god, they are cluttered, by the way. They can go out that far, in about that far, you bring the tire down with it. They can do a full 360 if you really try to force it. He does have a bicep swivel, nothing at the wrist, nothing at the waist, but his hips can kick forward that far, backward about, if you move all this out of the way, backward about that far. He does have a pretty beautiful spread, in my opinion. He does have a thigh swivel, a below the knee swivel, and he does have a single joint at the knee, which gives you a little over 90 degrees of movement. He does have an ankle pivot, and his toe is on a hinge for the transformation, so that can give you a little bit of forward motion. So, yeah, my guy is absolutely jam-packed with posability here. You just kind of got to know how to navigate this awkward design, honestly. Getting into Long Haul's dump truck mode here, I think that aside from the top of the bed, I think that this thing is absolutely immaculate. It looks dead on, basically, to the real-life version of this vehicle. It is so fun to handle. He doesn't roll that well, as you can probably see, because this tire right here broke off, because this is a knockoff. I have reviewed this figure before, so you guys should probably know that. I think that this guy, overall, though, is very fun. He's very chunky, he's very compact, he's very dense. He doesn't feel like he's going to break like any other knockoff, really, other than that tire, which was my fault. I think that this guy is wonderful, and he does this job. He does, he captures this mode very well. He does the job well. That's what I was trying to say. Overall, I think Long Haul here is such a fun figure. He's definitely one of my favorite of the bunch. I think he's so chunky and solid. He just holds up. Now, I will say, be wary of how much you decide to spend on this figure. Once again, I had to get a knockoff because this guy goes for an insane amount. I swear to God, I cannot find a regular version of this figure for anything less than about $100. So be mindful. If you want to complete your Devastator just like me, I did, so I just came up with a different solution, I guess, and I just caved in, bought a knockoff. You gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. I think he's lovely. Getting into Rampage. Look, guys, I want to like this figure quite a bit, but mine just has some issues kind of holding him back. This arm, I don't know what it is. I don't know. I don't know what to do about that. I think that this guy looks absolutely phenomenal, though. Oh my God, does he capture the essence of the character model so well. I love the sculpting. I dry brushed this guy, as you guys might have heard. I didn't dry brush Long Haul, actually, but overall, I do think that this guy looks the part. He just, he's lacking. Also, I wish that the tread whips were a little longer, but you know, it's fine. He can do the gun thing that he had in the movie just by untabbing his little smokestacks and plugging them right here via this tab into that slot into his hand, and it's a little finicky when you're trying to do it on camera, but yeah, there we go. And you have a very lackluster representation of his little guns from the movie that looked a lot bigger and just felt a lot more powerful. And because this guy can't just, they gave him a little stand with a fold-out hinge for the transformation. One of these little platform things just fold out for some reason, and that just pegs to the bottom of his little pogo stick leg right there. And boom, now he's standing. I do really want to get Skipjack because I'm just kind of terrified of this guy breaking at this point. So that's really all we're going to talk about for the robot mode other than articulation. Which, speaking of which, getting down into Rampage's articulation, this guy, he's decently posable, I guess. Let's just get into it. He does have a ball joint at the head, so we can do a whole bunch of wiggly waggly motion, and he has a tiny little bit of an extra hinge, mainly for transformation, so that pops off very easily. But he can look up that far, he can look down all of the way, he can do some side-to-side motion, he can do a full 360, and he has some wiggly waggly movement. Shoulders can do a full 360, he has butterfly joints, he does have a bicep swivel, nothing at the elbow unfortunately, but his fingers are on individual hinges. Same with the two thumbs right there, so that's pretty cool. He does have a waist swivel. This little pogo stick leg can kick forward that far, backward about that far if you bend the knee, and he can bend at the waist quite a bit. I didn't mean to call that a knee. That's not a knee at all. That's just his waist. And that's honestly about it. I mean, That fell right off. This thing, he's kind of... This design doesn't make for a good toy at all for, like, any reason. Rampage's bulldozer mode is very interesting because this guy looks very nice, but he doesn't feel that great, especially from the cockpit area. None of this stuff, unless you have this piece of shit tabbed in, it doesn't look or, like, stay together very nicely, and I don't like all of the kibble that's just kind of hanging off of him. I feel like... Look, this is a difficult design to capture and make work into a toy. That's why the old one failed so fucking miserably. However, I think that this guy, for what it's worth, I guess, he does the job well. It looks like a nice bulldozer. It captures the essence of what it should be rather well. I just am nitpicky as hell. So, I gotta find something to complain about. I'm sorry, guys. Overall, I think Rampage is fine. He's serviceable. He has his ups. He has his downs. He has his in-betweens. There's the goods, the bads, the uglies. That's about it, honestly. This design doesn't really lend itself to being a good action figure, let alone being a good toy, honestly. So, what can you really expect? And mine has just suffered from me being a kid growing up having this figure for the last 4 years, so there's bound to be some changes to him, I guess. But yeah, he's serviceable. He's fine. That's gonna do it for me tonight, folks. If you guys enjoyed this video and would like to see more, please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And with all of that being said, guys, this has been That Nerd Isaac 2006, pulling a cat hair away from Long Haul. And I'm rolling out. Peace.